So how do we top that amazing story? Well, we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk about business here in the U.S., an amazing business, the world's largest production facility of McDonald's burgers. They have realized scale, including fresh patties for quarter pounders, of which we were able to participate. Our next speaker has made a mark on the food industry through what many would call servant-based leadership, something Tim has been practicing for most of his career, long before it was a buzzword. I have heard Tim speak on several occasions and typically end up with a couple of wet eyes. Like Markey, I'm not going to steal Tim's thunder. I'll let him share the story with you about relationships and culture, and hope that it would inspire any of you business leaders out there. Tim?
Well, hello, everyone. Man, I wish I could be there. I really, really do. And Craig, count me in for the 65+1. I promise I'll be there. Looking forward to it. I miss everybody there. There's so many friends that I have there at JLS and the relationships we built. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all that JLS has done to help make us so successful. As Craig mentioned, in 2016, we went into a joint venture of doing something different, right? We were going to transcend the way we were doing business to take care of, in my opinion, the most incredible customer, right? And I brought in a bunch of business leaders, if you will, that's going to help us make this transition. And I remember there was about 40 people we gathered in. This is before COVID, obviously. So there was about 40 people that we brought in and sat in the conference room. And I remember my team looking at me and said, "What are you doing? You know, Tim, these are contractors. These are our employees. These are business leaders." There were people that I like to slay in t-shirts and suit jackets, right? And they said, "What are you trying to accomplish?" I said, "Look, the business we're in the relationship business. And we have to develop a culture of success. And part of that is making sure we all have the same vision, right? To make sure that what we're doing is going to make an impact on everybody in this room, because we're going to impact millions of people. We have to get it right." So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, about the culture, about the relationships. And I got about 15 minutes, right? So what I'm going to ask you to do is just to clear your mind and focus, right? And I'm going to start here with the listening, and I'm hoping everybody there can hear me. And eventually, I need to get here. I need to get you thinking. And at the very end, if I do this right, although I can't see you, I want to get here. I want to get to the heart where the impact is. And he mentioned servant leadership. This is where that servant leadership comes from, right? So the whole relationship thing starts with the focus on who do you want to be. And in multiple businesses I worked for, the one thing that always stood out was the culture. Tim, as Craig had mentioned, Tim, the culture is just so different at the plant. I said, well, it should be. It should be an engaged culture, right? We're in this together. And it should be a servant culture. And it's some of the things that we teach and some of the things that we lead. So if you could, give me 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes to try and make an impact. Clear your mind, clear your phones, clear any distraction that we can. And I'm going to challenge you to stay with me on this journey. And what I mean by a journey is, I'm going to talk about the one thing that you know better than anybody. That's you. Who are you? Who are you as a leader? Who are you as a person, right? That's where the relationship starts. I talk about True North leadership here at the plant, some of the training that I do. True North leadership is focus. It's creating a vision, a mission, and taking people with you on that journey. And all of that is impact, attract to impact, as I like to say. So we impact everybody every single day we get up. The first person we cross paths with, we're going to make an impact, whether it be positive or negative. My mindset is I am going to be positive throughout my journey, throughout the day. When I see somebody, and Craig, I wish I was there, and Steele gave me a virtual hug yesterday. You talked about, Mark, you talked about hugging. I'm a hugger. It's just who I am. And here, I like to fist punch. I like to high five. I like to do all those things. And COVID kind of took that away. But from a culture standpoint, it's about caring. It's about being genuine, right? It really, really is about getting everybody engaged in your journey and helping people along the way. So when you think about that, one of the things I realized a long time ago as a leader in trying to get my message across to everybody is when you think of our journey individually, think of how you started your life as an infant. You came into this world relying on everyone because you couldn't care for yourself. You needed others to help you with your journey, to get you started, to get you focused, to nurture, to care, to dress, to feed, right? And then we end our lives so many times the same way. And as I tell people, somewhere between there, we get arrogant. We think we don't need others. But we do. We need each other. I needed JLS. And as I said to them when we first started, I don't need your equipment. I need your partnership. So thank you to everybody there. You guys just astounded me on the business side of our relationship. The way that we went through the journey, as I like to say, the forming, the storming, and the norming stages, right? We killed it. But impact, making an impact every day. Are you prepared to do that every day? I will tell you this. I wake up every day. I want to make the culture I want to live in. Does that make sense? It's one of those things that I look at and I think of every day. I want a culture that's inspiring and uplifting. And I have that choice. I'm making that difference. It's my choice. I can influence it the way I want it to be. And when I walk the plant, I come in every morning and the first thing I do is I go to every office and I either fist pump, high five, I do whatever. I used to shake hands and give hugs. I can't do that anymore. But that whole process of recognition and appreciation, I'm telling you what, it just starts the day for everyone. And if I miss somebody, they'll come down and say, Tim, is everything okay? Where were you, right? And I started all over again. So making an impact, even through these challenging times, you're getting pulled in so many different directions. I'm going to tell you 2 words that cost absolutely nothing that mean the most to everybody. You ready? Thank you. It's something that costs us absolutely nothing. It's something we don't spend enough on, right? So many times in our lives, people are doing some incredible things for us. And sometimes we take a gift, as you will, as an expectation. Thank you goes a long way. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And I'm going to tell you thank you again, because it was pretty incredible. When Craig asked me to do this, I thought, sure, I can. You must have a low budget. You must have ran out of money if you're asking me to stand up in front of this team, man. I'll do anything you ask me to do, but this is all you get, right? So again, going back to impact and teamwork and all that kind of stuff, I want to tell you where this all kind of started with me. Friends of mine that I work with at a company, we did a thing, or they invited me to do a bike to the bay is what it was called. Riding a bicycle, 150 miles in 2 days, raising money for multiple sclerosis. And at first I thought, yeah, that's not a big deal. Sure, I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. I went out and, of course, I got all the gigs. I had to look the part, just like how I golf. I golf well, but I sure look like I can golf. So I had to get all the biker stuff, right? And we started off that day, and it was incredible. There was 4 of us, and we took off. And I got to tell you, with the training and everything, putting your body through that kind of a stress, right? I underestimated it. And as we got closer and closer and closer, I'm on my new bike. I no longer look as good as I started. I got to tell you that right now. And when we got there, 75 miles later, I got off that bike and we parked it overnight. We got up the next morning to ride again, and we stayed at a hotel. I got up that next morning, and I'm telling you, I was so sore. As we drove there, I said, I sure hope someone stole my bike. That way I don't have to ride it home, right? So as we were getting there, and there, sure enough, my bike is sitting there. So I know, as sore as I was, I had to get on the bike because of the commitment I made to those who sponsored me, and I needed to ride home. But I got to tell you, here's the story. I was feeling sorry for myself, right? Because I was in pain. If you've never ridden 75 or 80 miles on a bike seat, it's just different, right? And it was painful. Not to mention when we got up, there was a mist. There was a headwind of 25 to 30 miles an hour now that we have to ride back in. So many other team members were starting to fall aside, and they had a sag wagon, and they took the sag wagon, and they would go back and they would give up. And you know what? That's a lot of our story in life, our journey. When things get tough, right? When things get tough, we want to give up. I'm challenging you, don't give up, because the end of the story or the journey is worth it. 10 miles in, we finish our first stop. I'm rounding the corner. The wind kind of blows us off our path a little bit. And I thought to myself, if one of my team members says I quit, I'm right there with them. I'm going to be that team member that supports them, right? Well, they didn't. It was just 4 of us. We're trying to draft. The wind is 30 miles an hour blowing at us, a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of wind and so forth. It's challenging. I'm telling you, as a leader and as a teammate, I'm struggling with the wind that's coming at me. I want to give up, right? If you haven't been there, you're going to be there. We rounded the corner. I saw a lady sitting in her driveway, and her 2 daughters. The mom was in a wheelchair, and the 2 daughters were standing there with thank you signs. That was my wake-up call, right? That was my wake-up. Who am I to complain over my journey in life when she would gladly switch spots with me? My mindset changed from a leader that day. I am going to get through anything that comes at my way because people are depending on all of us. That's where I go back to the whole journey of life, right? When you get that team, we finished that day, and I tell you what, that bond, that relationship that I formed with that team was incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. And I get chills when I see that lady in my mind, in my memory, sitting there with her 2 daughters, and I was riding to raise money. Years later, I find out one of our 4 has MS. So we don't even know years ago what we were doing, what we were supporting, right? But from a team standpoint, we drove it home. We went 150 miles. It was incredible. Heart-wrenching story for us that we made it. Look, performance as a team, it's being better than you thought possible because of influence and attitude. Our influence and our attitude that day, we had 4 of us against the wind, against the conditions. We got there, and you can get there. It's about culture. It's about believing in each other. It's about lifting each other up. I mentioned the compass. The compass. I have a cup behind me, and I use it every day. It's a compass that I call True North Leadership. That compass gives you clear direction. It lets you know where north is. So when things are in chaos, whether it be in life or in business, that compass shows us where the true north is, shows us what the direction is. We are the compass. We are the compass for our teams. We are the compass for those that believe in us, right? We should be giving clear direction. We give that direction, we can get our teams anywhere, right? And the other thing is inspire to make an impact. You're going to make an impact every day. Wake up inspired to do the unthinkable, right? Hold the door for somebody and look how shocked somebody is when you say thank you, or buy them a cup of coffee, the simple little things in life. If you're walking through, give somebody some recognition. It costs you absolutely nothing. And I'm telling you what an impact it makes on a culture. So again, relationships are the key to any business. As I say, I'm in the relationship business, right? It doesn't matter what I'm selling, what I'm providing, what I'm giving. I'm in the relationship business, and every facet of life. I'm going to give you 3 things that I'm going to challenge you to do. Listen more than you talk. It's hard to do sometimes, right? Compliment more than you complain. In today's world, I tell you what, there's a lot of things that come at us, but we should compliment more than we complain. And I'll challenge you to serve others more than you are served. So again, thank you, Craig. Thank you for the opportunity to come here. It's such an honor. Again, I wish I was there. Like to see everybody. And Craig, you owe me that hug when I get there, right?
We good? All right. Tim, the hug's tucked away for you. So thank you so much for being a part of this celebration and sharing your story with our audience. As JLS, we wanted to help you in your efforts to support the Ronald McDonald House of Northwest Ohio. We're sending a check to them in the name of National Beef, honoring you and what your team does to help the Ronald McDonald House in your area. In addition, Mike Newcomb is going to present you with our gift of thanks for you personally. Mike?
Thanks, Craig. Tim, thank you so much. I've been doing this a while, and in sales, we meet a lot of people. We have an opportunity to do business with a lot of companies, and then for those people, we truly make some fantastic friendships. And I have to say that I consider you a great friend. We've been on a long journey together, and I'm looking forward to continuing that journey. Just a small token, our appreciation of you joining us today, even though it is virtually. I think we're going to mail this out, and you personally, all right? And then we'll have a glass of brown liquid as well. Take care of yourself. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of JLS. What an incredible gift there, Craig. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Tim. Tim, the inscription you would enjoy for sure and relate to, it says, "Are you with me?" And I know you know the meaning behind that. So we thought you'd enjoy that.